Hello, all. Welcome on into your tarot spread for the week ahead. This is for the week of March 30th, 2026. And this week I am using a vintage tarot deck. Not only a vintage tarot deck, but a vintage tarot deck that is James Bond themed. This deck is from 1973 and it was produced in conjunction with Live and Let Die, the movie, um, which I believe was Roger Moore's first appearance as James Bond. I should know that because I'm actually working my way through the James Bond filmography as we speak. Um, but this was released in conjunction with the movie because small spoiler alert, Jane Seymour appears as the Bond girl in the movie, and she is a tarot reader named Solitaire. So if you're a tarot fan and or a James Bond fan, um, I absolutely recommend seeing the movie. And I bought myself this for my recent birthday off of the eBay. Um, and we'll be using the James Bond tarot deck. The paintings, the artwork in the deck are designed by Fergus Hall. The instruction booklet is by Stuart Kaplan. And this deck, I believe, once the James Bond fervor died down, this deck, I believe, was re-released with the artwork as the Witches Tarot or the Tarot of the Witches. So the artwork might be familiar to some of you because of that, if not because of the movie. So let's see. Let's see what the cards have for us. And I was shuffling earlier, and a card popped out, and interestingly enough, it was the Fool, which seems like the perfect card for starting a new journey with a new deck. And we're going to be starting a new month this week. So let's see what the week holds. The Fool is card 0 in the tarot. It's the first card in the deck. It's the first step of the journey, if you will. And the Fool is often about taking a risk. Stepping off. The Fool's often illustrated as stepping off the edge of a cliff, and we usually with an animal friend who's trying to keep them safe, like the animal instincts kicked in. You're like, I don't know, and you're like, I'm going to do it anyway. And I like that we have a sun up here, the light, which is the known. This is the known. This is what's being illuminated. And he's stepping off into the darkness of, the unknown and the intuition and following those inner thoughts, inner urges, inner pulls, and stepping off the cliff. So I love this. I love this card for me starting with a new deck, and I love this card for us starting a new month. April Fools is April 1st. I just thought that, or just realized that. So, hey, great card all the way around. Enjoy that card. Enjoy the Fool energy in your life this week. But don't do nasty practical jokes, okay? I like a good-natured April Fool's joke. Don't do nasty or malintended practical jokes, please. Also, the back of the cards has the 007 logo, which I love. I think that's kind of cool. The cards in the movie have a similar logo, although I think the backs are red on those cards. Some very good friends of mine, Michael and Eva, gifted me a prop replica of the deck that's used in the movie by Jane Seymour, and I believe the card backs are red, and that the font on the cards is a little different. The art is the same, but the font is a little different on the movie replica. And I'm shuffling, nothing is really popping out, so like usual, we're going to split the deck. And we'll go with this. And we have 10 of Cups. I'm going to go ahead and say the Fool energy is our weekly energy because that feels right to me, to be honest. New month, April Fools, new deck. We're going to go with Fool energy as our energy of the week. So it's a good week to start something new, to take a risk. Maybe it's putting in for a promotion that you've been up for. Maybe it's starting a new class or learning something new. Maybe it's telling somebody how you feel, bad or good. Maybe it's booking that vacation, that you're a little scared to book for whatever reason. But whatever it is, take the risk, take the risk, evaluate, use this little animal friend guide, that little instinct, to evaluate, and then take the risk, go into the unknown. And for Monday, we've got the Ten of Cups, which is such a lovely card of feeling a completion sort of in life, of being truly happy, of feeling happy and balanced in our emotional state, in the relationships that we have in our lives, in our creative pursuits, in all of these things. So take a moment to really appreciate. And not everything has to be 100%, not everything has to be perfect, but truly take a moment to appreciate the good that you do have. Maybe you've got one friendship in particular right now that's really checking off all the boxes for you, or that you feel really supported by your partner right now. Or maybe you just love your dog or your cat and they're the best dog or cat in the world. So even if you can't say everything in your life is 100% perfect, try to appreciate, take some time to appreciate the good that you do have, specifically in the healthy connections you have, in the soul affirming connections. Take some time to appreciate that. And that is our Monday. For Tuesday, I'm going to cut again. And for Tuesday, we have Queen of Swords. And Queen of Swords, I feel like she came up for a friend recently. And for Queen of Swords, I feel like it's sort of, her message can often be about getting out of the way of your own BS, and cutting through the excuses you make, cutting through the crap that you tell yourself, and really focusing on the truth, and focusing on the future. I think Queen of Swords is usually a future thinking card or a future looking card. And so this is a time to really cut through the nonsense. And specifically, I feel like it might be a little internally focused. Cut through your own nonsense. Stop fooling around. Cut through the nonsense. And look to the future here with our Queen of Swords. I like that the art on these cards, the artist Fergus Hall, they're sort of almost a surrealist, maybe a Dali inspired art, which is kind of nice. Now I'm going to look up the Tarot of the Witches too and see how different the deck is put together. But I have heard tell that this is the same as Tarot of the Witches. I like the art. I like the colors. I wasn't expecting it to be such a brightly colored deck because I'm going to be honest, I got the deck before I saw the movie. And I am thrilled for this. I'm thrilled to have this, and I'm thrilled with the colors in the deck, and it feels good to work with. Sometimes decks can have an energy, and this one in particular feels good to work with. We have for Wednesday, we have the Four of Batons, it's called in this deck, or Four of Wands. This deck is modeled after the Marseille Tarot deck. A lot of tarot decks are modeled after the Smith Rider-Waite, so the image looks kind of traditional or similar to that deck. This is modeled more on the Marseille. So instead of people in the minor arcana suits, we have they're more sort of I would say sort of a playing card style, as opposed to the artwork you might be familiar with the Smith Rider-Waite. And Four of Wands, or Four of Batons, for Wednesday is a card of celebration, really. It's a card of stability, again, maybe leaning into those relationships as we consider taking a risk, focusing on the stability of these relationships, maybe listening to people who give us advice about about what crap we need to slice through. And because there is a lot of stability here, there is a lot of message about family and what feels like a homecoming. And this can be our chosen family. This can be our friends. It doesn't have to be our relatives if that doesn't ring for you. But on Wednesday, pay attention to what feels like home. Pay attention to what feels like a space you belong in. For Thursday, we have Eight of Cups. Again, good energy for our Fool, because what are we stepping away from? What's left on the edge of this cliff when we step off? What what maybe tugs at our heart a bit, but we know it's not for us? Where's that stability? Where's that feeling of home? And if this isn't it, it's time to leave it behind. Um, this could be a relationship, it could be a situation. It's a cups, so it implies to me it's something where there's an emotional attachment. Um, so likely a relationship, but it could be just maybe a job where you feel, maybe you really like your coworkers at your job, but it's time to go. Or maybe you really like your neighbors, but it's time to move house. So it could be that sort of thing too. Um, it doesn't have to be a relationship, although it's a cup, so it might be. But it is something definitely we're emotionally attached to that we have to evaluate. Use your Queen of Swords energy. Evaluate this. Is it time to move on? Probably is. Probably is. We're being asked to take a big step here and start something brand new, so it probably is time to move on. But you get to make that call for yourself. I can't tell you. You know yourself best. Please don't say this lady on the internet told me to break up with you. Because I did not. I told you to evaluate. And then make your own choices. But likely there is a choice you're going to have to make. Um, for Friday, we have the High Priestess, and if you've seen the movie Live and Let Die, or you're going to watch it, this card is pulled for Jane Seymour's character. And the High Priestess, I kind of like her with our Queen of Swords. We've got some powerful, strong energy here. And I sort of like that this lines up almost like a diagonal from our Fool energy of that risk, of that starting something new, of that beginning that journey, and journeying down, stepping down into the unknown, if you will. Stepping down into that darker, not darker like spooky, but darker place, that place where we keep things hidden maybe. Stepping beyond the veil, which is big High Priestess energy. So we're taking that risk, we're cutting through everything, and then we're arriving here at this really deep and grounded, centered inner knowing that we have looked inside of that ourselves into that place, knowing that we're ready to move on, and really grounding into that deep intuitive energy, and using that to balance, using that to using the evaluation we've done with our head and our heart to stay grounded and to feel secure. I feel like there's some stability here with the High Priestess too. She's a very grounded, very strong energy there. Okay, let's do the weekend. Woo. Oh, well, we've got some big queen energy, guys. And I shuffled these cards for minutes before, which doesn't sound like a lot to say minutes, but typically, traditionally, I've heard, and I usually follow that when you get a new tarot deck, you shuffle it for 2 minutes before you actually start a reading. So I shuffled for 2 minutes, and then I actually started to shuffle when we did the reading too. So everybody should be mixed up pretty well. And actually, as flipping through, they do look like they're mixed up pretty well. So for Saturday, we have Queen of Wands. So this is some very big, strong leadership energies here. Like, queens are in charge. The High Priestess is definitely in charge. So whatever risk we're taking with the Fool, whatever journey we're starting, we are in charge of it. We are in charge of this journey. There might be some unknowns to it. We might be, like I said, we might be kind of stepping into the dark, if you will, a little bit, meaning we can't see everything that's going to happen. We can't see entirely how it's going to plan out. But we know this is a journey we need to take. We've got the support from our family. We've got the love and the appreciation for that. We are cutting through the crap. We have the stability of what feels like home, and we are celebrating in that. We have got things we know we've got to walk away from. We're ready to walk away from whatever this is. to get into this really strong, powerful, grounded energy that listening to our deep inner knowing here, going beyond the veil, as they say. And then we arrive here at Saturday at our Queen of Wands, who she is a fire queen, if you will. She is a witchy, vibey fire queen. And this queen, this is my favorite. This is the queen I feel most drawn to be honest. And she is all about that fire, that passion, that enthusiasm, that charisma. She is going to be the life of the party. She is going to be the person who, when she walks in, all eyes are on her. And I say she, but it really, I don't read the cards as gendered. So it's just that energy. If it's you, you are the life of the party. You are the person all eyes are going to be looking at. You can channel that charisma, that magnetism on Saturday and use it to power this. Use it to power that journey. Use it to make maybe some new connections that can help you move forward. You know, if we're losing some connections here, use your Queen of Wands energy to attract new people into your life, new people into you. And we have, for Sunday, we have Eight of Swords. And I kind of like the way this looks here, because Eight of Swords to me is usually a get out of your own way sort of vibe, sort of energy. And I kind of like that it looks like you're stabbing it's like stabbing yourself in the foot. Is that a saying? Stab yourself in the foot? Stab yourself in the back? I don't know. Anyway, I think there's a foot thing. But anyway, on Sunday is a good day to think about, again, how are you keeping yourself stuck? How are you, are you walking through your house, stepping on something and going, ow, who put this sword here? Oh, wait, I did. Sunday is a time to evaluate how you might be holding yourself back, how you might be harming yourself, not literally harming yourself. At least I hope not. And if you are, please know that help is available to you. Please do not be afraid to get help. I feel like I have to say that as a PSA of sorts. But how are you holding yourself back? What negative patterns of behavior or beliefs are you holding on to? What are you not seeing? Maybe taking some time to really appreciate. If you feel like you're alone, take some time to see who is in your life. And like I said, even if it's one friendship, even if it's one relationship, even if it's one family member right now that's showing up for you, take a moment to see that you aren't alone, that there is somebody there. Take a moment to evaluate, are you holding on to whatever this is too tightly? Are you holding yourself back by not letting go? Even though it's going to hurt, even though it might be a little uncomfortable, are you holding yourself back by not letting go? Are you not listening to your intuition? Are you not able to cut through the crap in your life? Are you holding yourself back from taking the leap? Maybe your little animal friend, your little animal instinct is holding on a little too strong here. And maybe we need to take the leap. Maybe you're not leaning into that confidence enough. Maybe you're letting your insecurities rule. So Eight of Swords on Sunday, let's take some time to think that through. Let's take some time to think about that. And that is our reading for the week. Like I said, we've got the be all and end all, or the beginning here for the tarot. We've got the start of the journey. Like I said, new deck, new month, April Fools. We've got the Fool card. And I think this is a good time for us to start some new beginnings. We're in spring now. We've just entered a new season. Let's take those leaps. Let's go beneath the surface. Let's see what's there. Take some time to appreciate your family and friends and the support you do have and the really healthy relationships in your life. Cut through your own crap. Look to the future. Decide how you want the future to look. Cut through your own crap. Find stability in the family. Find what feels like a homecoming. Find what feels like a home to you and appreciate that. These cards work really well together, I think, for that in that respect. Be willing to let go. even though it might hurt, even though it might be painful, even though it might seem like it's still serving a purpose, be willing to let go so you can take that leap. Get grounded in that intuition. Get grounded in that knowing. You know. And channel your fire. Channel your fire. Let other people see that fire. Let other people feel that flame. Let other people feel that heat. You could do it. And get out of your own way. Get out of your own way here. Have an amazing week, everyone. I'll see you next week. Enjoy.